Alright, hello and welcome everyone. So today we're going to be talking about the Nezha rework and of course the Nezha Deluxe that came along with it. And I gotta say, right off the bat, DE really went out of their way to make sure that this skin is the full package.
Fuck you.
By also making it so that Nezha is just really worth using, ensuring that this skin will see a lot of play. So basically, this skin translated incredibly well from its concept art into the actual game, and in addition to that, it has incredibly good color channels and colors really well. It's been very difficult for me to find a problem with how this thing colors, and I just kind of like it a whole lot. It's kind of just super dope, and there's no real issues to be had with the deluxe skin, other than perhaps that, aside from the deluxe skin, the Sindana that it comes with, this one, kind of covers up the coolest bit of the whole skin, that being the crazy dragon lion that is on the back of the skin. So I don't know why I would ever use this Sindana on the Nezha Deluxe. This Sindana is nice, and I will probably eventually use it on a different Warframe, but using it here just seems like you would just be lowering the quality of the skin. Like, that's just my personal take on it, and I know some people are gonna be less on top of this, like, dope dragon lion face, but yeah, I think it looks awesome, and definitely not going to be using this Sindana personally. So yeah, there's that. That's like the only possible complaint I could have. And the fashion that I ended up going with is this, which I think looks fucking dope. The one main thing that is obviously different is that I am using the Tennogen Yaksha helmet instead of the deluxe helmet. Both of them I think look very cool, but the Yaksha helmet, I think, looks Devil May Cry as fuck in this color scheme, and that's pretty dope, so I'm gonna go with that. Anyway, moving on from the deluxe stuff, though, let's talk about the actual build for Nezha and what has changed and what I kind of got wrong going into this rework. Now, the main thing I got wrong going into this rework is whenever I was theory crafting for the rework testing and stuff like that, I assumed that it was going to be like, oh, I'm going to use Vitality, and then I'm going to throw on, like, health conversion, or I'm going to need steel fiber, or this, that, and the other thing, right? Turns out, definitely not. You absolutely, definitely do not need to use anything beyond just regular old Vitality to be tanky enough to do pretty much all of the content in the entire game. So yeah, you don't need health conversion even in its buff state. You really don't need steel fiber. You really don't need to waste slots on more survivability, because just with Vitality, you are really hard to kill. Now, admittedly, bolstering that a little bit is the side effect of Reaping Chakram, which I'm using, which makes it drop a bunch more health orbs. So sometimes enemies just kind of explode into health orbs, like it's just you throw your 2 and then there's like 35 health orbs on the ground. It's pretty great just to watch, and Reaping Chakram also gives you a bit of damage that you can do at kind of lower levels, or if you're in a full corrosive projection party. Reaping Chakram doesn't really scale as well as a lot of people seem to think it does, and you're much better off just using a really good weapon in addition to Reaping Chakram, just so you can get the damage bonus from your 2 now applied to a really good weapon, like, say, the Amprex, or a good melee weapon, which we're going to be showing in this test. With that, power strength is pretty solid, although I didn't go super crazy with it, just because you're getting a better damage bonus out of your 2, and of course you're getting slightly more damage on your 1 and your 4. That's a bit negligible, though. Things for your 1 and your 4, though, you're going to be having the duration for that. Your 4 lasting longer is really good, and then your 1, like, lasting longer, that's nice as well. It's got a really high base duration, but having to recast it even less, always good. And then for pretty much just your 4, Augur Reach and Stretch, basically having your crowd control ability be over 30 meters is really solid, so I'm using these 2 mods. That is, of course, going to increase your survivability pretty significantly if you actually use your abilities, so probably do that. And rounding out the build, we've got Streamline to make everything a little bit cheaper. I definitely did not want to go negative efficiency with Blind Rage, which I've seen a couple people do, and I think is insane. And then on top of this, we've got Maglev. Maglev, obviously classically good on Nezha to make him very, very slidey. But I know some people, for some reason, want to use Nezha without being a slippery boy. And I mean, I guess that's fine. But I think that's kind of the point of the frame. So I'm going to continue to use Maglev as it makes me very, very quick. And then Corrosive Projection, because Nezha is yet another Warframe that hates armor. So you're using Corrosive Projection. That's pretty much just how it's going. In the Arcane department, I'm using Energize and Grace. And these are both really, really good. Grace for just like passive healing that you don't have to like look at or pay attention to. Energize, getting more energy. Turns out that's fantastic on a Warframe that wants to spam his abilities all the time. Although it's very, very much not necessary because your 2 can also help get you energy orbs, even as it stands right there at base, even as it stands at base. I will say, right off the bat, Grace, not that important. You could really easily switch this out for the budget option of being Guardian, because that will give you more survivability, and then your healing can just come from Reaping Chakram or just your 2 at base in general. So yeah, like this build is really effective, and to show that off really quick, we'll just do like a raw survivability test, I suppose. Like we'll bump these guys up to level 100, and I'll just let them shoot me, because they have a hard time killing Nezha, even if I'm letting them kill me. Like, even if I'm, like, actively letting them just shoot the fuck out of me, they're having some troubles. Especially with Grace here, obviously giving me some regeneration. But, like, just letting them whap on me, like, they're having trouble. And this is me letting them hit me. Just letting them whap on me. It takes some time. So, if you're actively preventing your death, let's say, you really don't need anything besides regular old vitality. Like, I know some people just want to be able to stand in it and just be like, huh, I could never die no matter what. But that's still really more Rhino's department. If you really just want to stand there and be completely invulnerable, that's just not really going to be your thing. You have to, you know, play in order to be functionally unkillable as Nezha as it stands right now. That being said, obviously, being functionally unkillable and having good CC and having the ability to generate energy and health orbs, all pretty good, especially if you're also fast as fuck. So let's just jump into this level 100 test and show how it goes if I'm actively preventing my death. Unfortunately, there is one thing about Nezha that has remained the case, and that is that he hates ancient healers. So we're going to take care of them first, and then hit 4, and all these enemies are no longer a problem. Use my 2 to bounce out and get damage multiplier on all of them. Some enemies explode into HP because of my 2 augment. And I have a big old damage multiplier for the enemies that have been hit by my 2, making it trivial to kill them. And then, like, hey man, it's not really, like, these enemies, I'm just fucking with them. Like what, I mean, it's not like, what are they gonna do, stop me? What are they gonna do, stop me? No. Like, no. They're not gonna stop this. What do you think is going to happen? Also, just check out the amount of health orbs generated because I'm using the 2 augment. You are shitting out so many health orbs. It's really effective for keeping you topped off pretty much anywhere you're going, as long as you remember to throw your damn 2, which I know will be a new thing for many people, because throwing your 2 previously was a huge waste of your time. Also, other things that are worth noting is that while I don't usually do it, you can charge up your 2 and throw it, and it'll go in a straight line forward and back and do enhanced damage. In certain cases, whenever you use your 4 and then a bunch of guys are lined up in a hallway, that will be a really, really good way to take them out, because it'll just evaporate them all and they'll explode into HP orbs, which is hilarious. But like basically, there's like this is how it goes. Like you're invincible with your 3 as long as you're staying on top of it and recasting it whenever it goes down and gives you that slight invincibility. You're using your 2 to enhance your damage very significantly and generate energy orbs and health orbs for you and your team. You're using your 1 to go fucking fast and put fire everywhere, which enemies hate, and it crowd controls them. And you're using your 4 to combo with your 2 because it generates a bunch more of the chakrams that like seek enemies whenever you hit enemies with your 2 that are on your 4. And just in general, your 4 is a over 30 meter CC, then that's real good. So, shock and surprise. All your abilities are good, which means Nezha is really fucking effective. Turns out that's how that works. Also, I do have to say, just from like a style perspective, I absolutely love the little hop you get out of your one. Also, your one is recastable, for anyone who's wondering. The hop that you get out of the one, though, is, like, really satisfying. And also, fun thing about it, you can one into hover into slam. So if you're like me and you're using the slam Exodia on your Zaw, that's actually really good for setting up and also getting headshots on enemies with your melee weapon. All that stuff, really good. Turns out enemies, not really a threat to new Nezha whatsoever. Like, that guy did, like, a little bit of damage, but, like, I'm already healed now. And, like, oh no, my 3 went down. There it is again. We back. So. And, like, these enemies are level 150. And they've got, like, all their armor and stuff. But, like, the damage multiplier is allowing me to chew through it pretty quickly on a weapon that usually would be used on Saren. So. Yeah, I kind of just have no issues dealing with this stuff whatsoever. Is there an enemy? What are you doing? There we go. Yeah, I kind of just have no troubles here. Also, the 2's targeting is way better. There's also that. Like, it's just really good. Like, I don't have any bad things to say about it. Like, there's like one bad, like heavy, like 6 or 7 sets of quotation marks on that bad thing about Nezha, and that is that there is a bug with his 4 where if you hit 4 and enemies go up on the spears, they are no longer detected by doors, so like all the doors in the map will close. So if you hit 4 and you're on like the far side of a door and there are enemies inside a room, the door will close and you can't throw your 2 at them. That is like the most minor, nothing complaint ever. But that's like all I got. That's like that's the whole thing. That's all I got for complaints. And that's not even really related to Nezha. That's just the doors don't detect enemies on spears. Like, it's such a non-issue that will almost certainly get fixed regardless. And Nezha is basically just incredible now. Also, just at the end of the video here, just so everyone knows, the reason that Nezha's 3 is just this single ring around me are just due to my visual settings. If you put particles like really low, then you don't get the spinning ring, which I much prefer on Nezha to the spinning ring. Anyway, that's going to do it for the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I hope you guys are enjoying Nezha console. You guys will get yours soon, and I will see you all tomorrow.